Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Success Life Live. My name is Eric Reed. I am the founder of Success Life U. I am a coach and a speaker and a trainer. And lately, I feel like I'm doing a lot of consulting with companies and teams about how to build their organization when it feels so fragmented, when it feels like it's going in 10 different directions. How do you utilize this time to grow as a team, grow as an organization, grow as a leader when you might feel more disconnected than ever? And I have to tell you, I'm seeing amazing results with organizations and teams. I'm seeing people come together in a way that I haven't seen in a while. And it's exciting because we have this tool, Zoom or StreamYard, like I'm using, to be able to connect with people at a new and a different level. And so we can choose to ignore it, complain, put our head down, watch endless streams of Netflix and YouTube cat videos, or we can say, wait a minute, this is an opportunity for us to grow. This is an opportunity for us to lean in on a different level, at a different scale, in a new way. And so I'm going to really encourage you, whether as an individual, if you own your own company, or as a small team or an emerging business, take time to really lean in and utilize this tool that we have right now, this tool of time. I'm so often asked, is it going to go back? When are we going to go back? How are we going to go back to the old normal? What is the old normal going to look like? What is the new normal going to look like? And as somebody who loves to seek out opportunities, to seek out change, to understand patterns and behavior in team members and individuals, I have to say, I don't think we're going to go back, and I don't think we're going to go forward. I think we're going to go in a new direction and a parallel track. We've proven to our clients, to our teams, to our organizations that we can adapt and change, and that we can provide alternative means of meeting the need. And so I think there will be a path where we move forward and continue to use the things that we're learning now during the coronavirus situation. But I also think there will be an element of wanting to return. I work with teams who love being in the same physical environment. They get a synergy and an energy about being together and hanging out and talking and communicating with each other. And then there are organizations that, because of the distance between employees or plants or offices, have found that they've been able to create a new network, a new collaboration by using this time and the technology. So what does the future look like? Well, honestly, that's really up to you and how you want to run your business and your team. But I really think our customers and our clients and our employees and our team members are going to expect a merging of both, a blending of both, the opportunity to work from home or work remotely, and still the community and connection of being part of something bigger, part of a mission. And that's really where your job as a leader, as a team builder, as a boss comes in, is to say, okay, if I set the vision, if I set the mission, if I make it really, really clear of what we're working towards, how we do it is adapting, but why we're doing is consistent. So it's just an observation of things I've been working on for the last week and, well, last couple of weeks, and the way I think things are going to continue forward. So good morning, Greg. Buongiorno, buongiorno. Good afternoon. Hey, Elizabeth, good to have you in the house. Good morning, Jose. And good morning, Nelly. Good to have you guys here. Thank you for taking a moment out of your busy days to stop in. By the way, I am using StreamYard, and if you want to know about StreamYard, it's really cool. So here's what happened the other night and why I just discovered a new use for StreamYard. Reach out and connect with me if you'd like. But my 87-year-old dad is technology challenged. I mean, I love the man to death, but like a dimmer switch, he's a mechanical engineer, and yet a dimmer switch, he gets frustrated that you have to push it for little things. So his grandkids wanted to FaceTime him. And he has an iPhone. So we were like, we'll just use FaceTime. He's like, I don't do that thing. And he gave us an answer. And then I said, okay, how about if we connect to you on Facebook? Oh, I don't have that Facebook thing. It's like something he keeps in his cupboard. So I was like, oh, come on. Like, how are we? So we tried Zoom. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have video recorded it, but I was too frustrated. It went nowhere. And then I remembered StreamYard. I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to email you the link. And by the way, StreamYard, you don't have to necessarily go live to utilize it. You can use it in what they call the record only mode. And so I emailed him the link to a record only mode, and he clicked on it. And magically, he appeared. And so we all got to do some FaceTime. He was like, well, that was pretty good. So I called my sister and she said, you got him live? And I was like, yeah, I got him live. She's like, oh, you got to teach me the trick. So it's now going to be the family tool. But I encourage you to look at the tools you have, figure out how you can adapt them to connect to people and others that really just need to be heard and you need to reach out to. So Open Now is an official StreamYarder. God love him. And it was funny because he was like, you're recording this? I'm like, don't worry, I'll delete it. Like, what am I going to do with it? Publish it? Which I should, because it was just an interesting conversation. So I want to encourage you this week, as you get started this Monday morning, we're going to go into our lesson here about symptoms versus cause. But before we do that, I want to encourage you to just sit down after this video is over, write down 3 or 4 names. It could be family members, team members, past employees, teachers. I don't care, 3 or 4 names. And then say, this week, I will make a deliberate attempt to connect with them. And not connect with them with a quick message or an email. But even if it means I'd like to talk to you, why don't we get together for a virtual coffee at 5 o'clock, whatever. Reach out and connect to somebody, because what's beginning to happen is we have social distancing, but some of us are becoming socially isolated. We're choosing to isolate ourselves. We're not taking that extra level of effort that it requires for us to connect to people. And so I want to encourage you this week to go out of your way and just pick up the phone, pick up the video phone, whatever it is you want to use, and just really say, hey, I want to just talk to somebody. I'm tired of talking to the dog. The kids are done listening to me. I want to just check in and see what's going on and seeing what's happening in your life. So choose 3 or 4 people. Maybe make it a habit for the next couple of weeks to just reach out to 3 or 4 people in some random way and just connect, and connect from the heart, connect from who you are, and not for some business building objective. All right. Well, the lesson I want to talk to you guys about today is really about addressing the symptoms versus the root cause. Now, the example would be that the other day, my son has had a horrible time with pollen and allergies, and he's coughing and he's coughing and he's coughing. And so we're constantly trying to give him cough drops or cough medicine or trying to soothe the cough, because we're addressing the symptom, the annoying symptom, the thing that is driving us all insane at 2 o'clock in the morning, him hacking and hacking and hacking and nobody getting any sleep and us just completely out of control. The only thing I want to do is like kill the symptom. I just want to eliminate this symptom. I don't care what's causing the cough. I just want it to be gone. I think sometimes in our business, sometimes in our personal life, sometimes in what we're trying to create, we see a symptom and we're like, I'm just going to attack the symptom. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Maybe your bank account isn't where it needs to be. Maybe your relationships aren't where you want them to be. Maybe your weight or your health or your fitness isn't what it should be. And so you're like, okay, I'm broke, so I'm going to make more money, or I'm overweight, so I'm going to keto, diet, starve, or my relationship isn't what I want, so I'm going to buy gifts or invest time and do all of these things. And we start to see that the tick go up. We start to see some growth. We start to see some change. And we're like, yes, I solved it. I fixed it. And the minute we pull that medication away, what happens? The symptom reemerges. Our bank account plummets. Our business begins to fall off. Our weight begins to pile back on. Our relationships begin to fall apart. Sometimes it's not about what the problem is. It's about why the problem is. So let me say that again. It's not about what the problem is. It's more about why the problem is. And until we're willing to really sit down and look at that and say, okay, why is the problem here? What is the source of the problem? What is the cause of the problem? Where does this problem originate from? Then and only then can we begin to find the how to solve the problem. So often I'll meet with somebody and I'll talk about this financial roller coaster. Like, yeah, I was wealthy and then I lost it. Yeah, I had success now. Like I can hear the pattern of like up, down, up, down, up, down. And I start to dig in and they're like, I'm just not very good with managing money. So I'm going to hire an accountant. I'm like, okay, how's that working? Well, worked for a while. Or I'm always broke. So I'm going to figure out 12 streams of income. I'm like, okay, how's that working out? I'm like, why are you not good at money? Like, what is the history? What is the pattern of money before you even had it? What was your family story? What is your personal story? What is the story you tell yourself about wealth and success and prosperity? It's funny, I'll hear somebody say, well, money is the root of all evil. I'm like, is that really your belief? Because as soon as you acquire it, you begin to think of yourself as evil. And who wants to think of themselves as evil? So in order for me to be a good person, I need to get rid of the money. So let me sabotage my success so I can return to this false belief that money is the root of all evil. Or in my case, my dad, the same 87-year-old dad, used to have this ritual about paying the bills. And he would pull this gray box. It was like a little money box out of the cabinet in the kitchen, and he would sit down with all the bills and the checkbook, and every envelope that he would open, he would bitch and moan, oh, I'm so sick of this. Who's believing the lights? And we would go through this drama, and he'd write the check and he'd angrily lick the stamp and put it on the envelope. And by the time it was all over, everybody had scattered to the four corners of the house, ducked and covered. He resented releasing money. He hated the thought of letting money go. Now, his history and growing up in the war in Germany and things like that, I understood where it was coming from. And so I said, I'm never going to be like my dad. I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to have that attitude about paying for things or, giving money to my kid. Like all of that, I'm never going to have. So what happened? The pendulum swung the complete opposite direction. And I said, I will never, I told myself in my brain, in order not to be like him, I can't become attached to money. So it would flow through me like gone, gone, gone. And then when big important things came up, I was like, I'm broke. I know what I can do. I'll just go generate more money. I'll just go generate more money. I'm really good at generating lots of money. And so I would generate more money and it would flow right through me. And I'd generate more money and it would flow right through me. And it was okay. The cycle worked, but it was exhausting. I mean, it literally would wear me down because it was like, okay, now what do I got to do to generate money? How can I get some more money? How can I generate more money? Where's more money going to come from? Make it happen, because I don't want to be like my dad. When I began to understand why that problem was occurring in my life, not just the fact that he doesn't manage money well, but why do I choose not to manage money well? Why did I have a belief system? What was my belief system around money? What was the language I used when I talked about money? What were the images and people that had influenced my thoughts about money? When I really went way down on it, then I was like, okay, now that I understand it, how can I improve it? How can I begin to change it? And what I realized was I can still give generously, but I can also save equally. I can also say yes and I can say no. And I began to realize that by creating boundaries and principles and values about money that were new, I didn't have to work like a crazy man to constantly fix the problem that I was always recreating. I could give you the same story about weight. Seen it happen 100 times for myself and clients. They gain some weight, they go through this crash diet, they begin to feel good, they begin to feel sexy, they begin to feel empowered, and then boom, the weight comes on, then it goes off, then it comes on, then it goes off, then it comes on, then they come off. And people talk about yo-yo dieting, metabolism, and all of that. Until you dig down and pull it out, it's not going to change. With our relationships, with our family, with our spouse, with our employees, with our team members. Why, if you feel like you have been chasing that cycle of success, like you are constantly going up, then going down, then going up, then going down, and you're blaming outside things like, oh, if only people understood me, if only things worked out differently, if only, well, you know what? sometimes if we stop thinking other people are in the way and realize that we are the way, not only to the problem, but to the solution, we begin to solve those problems and create those solutions. It's like yelling at the lamppost because you were too busy reading a text message to notice it right in front of your face when you crashed into it. Part of our success, whether it's personal or in our business, requires that we stop looking at the symptoms and be willing to dig down into the root cause. Now, I was able to understand the root cause of my financial situations and the way I handled money because I had a coach and a mentor who was bold enough to ask me, just keep asking and pushing and unpacking and tearing apart that BS story, much like we do in the Discover Your Blueprint for Success series. If you were in that position, and maybe now in light of everything that's going on, you can see it differently. But if you're in that position that you're like, I am not going to repeat this. I am so exhausted right now in this break, in this change, in this altered universe that we're living in. I can actually see how this is not working and I need to change it. Start looking at the root causes. There's a thing we do in coaching. It's called the 5 whys. Now, it sounds really mysterious. Sounds like something we could unlock the key to. Sorry, it's not that tricky. Just ask yourself why 5 times. Why do you behave that way? Why do you think that way? Whatever you come up with, go for the why. And somewhere around number 5, sometimes around number 7 for stubborn people, you'll hit upon something and you'll be like, maybe that's the root cause. Maybe instead of trying to cover it up with cough medicine, we need to clean the house and get some of the pollen out and put on some dust masks and do some things to clear out the real root cause, like in the case of my son. What is right now the symptom in your life, whether it's your business growth, whether it's your personal growth, whether it's your finances or your family or your fitness? What is it that's going on right now that you can clearly see the symptom and you are trying to apply all of these Band-Aids and duct tape and super glue over the top of it, thinking if I can just get rid of the symptom, the problem will be gone forever? That if you really slow down just a little longer, you would say, wait a minute, this is not the first time I've been here. This is just another version of last year and the year before and the 5-year cycle. I do it. I speak from experience. I speak from knowledge. I have got to continually monitor and observe and then make decisions and actions around what I'm doing in my life. I've got to be like, wait a minute, why does this feel like that felt like, only it's looking a little different? Am I addressing the symptom or the problem? Am I going after the root cause? What is the real cause of this problem? And then begin to move forward from that. You will begin to have tremendous success in your personal life and in your teams, your organizations, whatever it is that you're leaning into right now. We are in a position of tremendous opportunity. I know there is fear. I know there was doubt. Trust me, when I took my son to the ER last night, the kids' emergency clinic, and I was gloved and masked and hand sanitizers and wrapped in laundry basket or plastic basket or things. I was just like, oh gosh, I get the fear that we're all facing. I get it. I live with it. I experience it. I'm yelling at my kids because they're putting things on kitchen countertops that are coming out of mailboxes without going through my safety cleaning protocol. But I also look at the opportunity to really study myself, study my business, study my family, study the things that I want to create and lean into those. It's such a higher level. Like if something needs to change in my life, right now is the perfect time to make it happen because everything is changing around everybody. So I can sort of sneak in between the changes and nobody will notice. It's like the time for me to say, you know what? everybody is so distracted with all of their stuff that if I start to change my stuff, nobody's going to have time to talk me out of it, push me back, sort of like, hold me in place, because there is no place left for me, so to speak, because it's all changing. I encourage you, I beg you, I implore you, do the same thing right now with yourself. Do the same thing with your business, your organization, your teams, your families, whatever it is. Look at those symptoms that you have been addressing over and over again and say, okay, I have got to figure out a solution, a deep down root cause solution, because I am not going to be repeating the cycle for the next 3, 5, 10 years of my life. Now, I can tell you, the Discover Your Blueprint for Success class that we run is a phenomenal place to start. Hiring a coach, hiring a mentor, sitting down with a journal and writing out your life and beginning to really unpack your truth about your things. The whole idea of my dad and the way I handled money did not come to me in a flash. I had all of these other stories, all of these other BSs that I was telling myself around money. And I love my father dearly, and I understand his story. I've read his story. I know his story and why he believes he lives with those fears, how he lives with those fears. His father, who was deployed by the German army to the Russian front during the war, till the day he passed, used to collect silver coins. Even though he lived here in the US and everything had changed in his life, he collected any silver coin he could find, and he kept it in a box in the very back of his closet. And everybody in the family, inner circle, knew that that box was there. I remember going to Florida on a family vacation with Oma and Opa, and on the floor inside the car, under my grandmother's feet, was that box. That meant safety and security to him. He grew up in a time and a place where currency didn't matter, but he knew that silver would always buy him safety and freedom for him and his family, and he never let go of that. 50-some years of his life. And that translated into my father's belief, and that became part of my belief system, almost to the opposite effect. And so I had not understood the root cause fully until somebody had started to pry it out of me. Make sure you're not just addressing the symptoms. Make sure you're leaning in and doing the hard work that you can do so that you can break the cycle and move into your life of success. That's what I encourage you to do. All right. All right. All right. We got this. We have so got this. And if there's anything I can do for you, you can always find me over at Success Life U, or you can connect to me at eric@ericgreed.com. I'm here for you. I know this is a trying time. I know it's frustrating. I know we're trying to figure out, do we grow our business? Do we hold our business? Do we change? Do we wait? Do we see? I know. But the reality is, the only difference between this crisis and the last crisis you experienced is this one has a name, COVID-19. Last week, last month, 2 years ago, when you were in financial stress, when you were overweight, when your business wasn't working, when your teams weren't being organized, when your personal life wasn't happening, it was a crisis. It just didn't have the same name. This is just another event that you are going to have to begin to navigate and move forward through. This is all within your control. This is all within your power. What's happening now is nothing that you can't handle. You've been handling crisis after crisis forever. Now, some of them have been national, some of them have been global, some of them have just been personal, kitchen table or boardroom level crises. How you manage them is what's going to be the difference this time. How you navigate through them, what you begin to do as you begin to organize your thoughts and begin to, look at your options and then make decisions and take actions. That's all I'm going to encourage you to do. All right? We got this. You got this. And if you don't, reach out. I'll be happy to help you. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping in and joining me this morning. I will see you again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for another Success Life. Till then, be well, my friends. And remember, you are so worthy of everything you desire in your life. Every dream, every hope, every prayer that you pray, you are worthy of receiving it. You were born worthy, and nothing today is going to take that away from you. All right? Bye-bye and be well.